Okay, it's on. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about minimalism, and I'm pretty much going to keep it as short as possible to conclude that point. I'm going to say the who, what, when, where, the 5 W's of minimalism in my experience. Okay, I've only been on this path for a couple years, but the what? What does it mean to have a minimalist lifestyle? And there are so many different forms of minimalism, and the important thing is that there's no right or wrong. It's whatever fits best for the person who decides to live that way. Simply put, it's choosing a simple lifestyle where you get more for less. And you only bring in the essentials that bring you value. So it's clearing the clutter and living with purpose, intent, and clarity. Would you guys all like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would benefit from becoming more minimalists? All right. Do you guys ever feel overwhelmed, stressed,
Yes.
discontent, or dealing with financial hardships?
Mm-hmm.
Heavy weight on your shoulders, like there's just too much to do and not enough time? Yeah. Those are the people who can benefit the most from by moving towards minimalism. Would you like to have more meaningful relationships with your friends and family?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would.
Snaps.
Yes. Yes.
It's okay. Videos on where like
You guys don't have to be quiet. Let them know how fun chicks
two
is.
totally different chicks now, aren't we?
They're watching us.
They can only see me. All right. Where can minimalism make a difference in your life?
I couldn't help it.
That's okay. I love it.
Okay.
And then at the end, you guys should all come over here so they can see how amazing our group is.
Okay. Repeat the question. I wasn't listening.
Where can minimalism make a difference in your life? First of all, your physical space, right? That's usually the first thing that people think of when they think of a minimalist is like living bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
That is not how I live. I tell people that I move towards a more minimalist life. Like, I'm not a minimalist because I don't really know how to classify myself as that. What are you guys doing?
I'm watching. We're watching the live, and I just showed her when she peeked in.
Okay, so your physical space, obviously making room mostly for your needs versus all the wants that you think you want that really just end up as clutter and taking up space.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, your time management, scheduling priorities, and really freeing up that time to do the things that you want to do, that you really want to do, not that you say you want. All right, and then your financial impact, eliminating debts and financial hardships. Surprisingly, when you stop buying stuff, you have more money because you're not buying the stuff that you think that you want. Okay, and then the when. When do you reach being a minimalist? I think I covered that a little bit. This is an ongoing process that changes constantly, and there isn't a set number of things you have to get down to classify as a minimalist. There are people who do that, who have like only 150 things completely, that's it. That's crazy. Not for me. And again, I just tell people I'm moving towards a simpler life of minimalism. All right. And then the biggest thing, why did I choose to do this? For one, I was really tired of telling people that I love to hike and that I work the way that I work because I want to be with my family, but I wasn't spending time with my family. I want to make an impact in my community by volunteering, and I want to lead by example of that for my son, but none of that was actually happening. Like, I went 3 years without fishing, and that's just not okay with me because I wasn't making it a priority, but it really was a priority. So that's one of the biggest reasons. My relationships were falling apart. I was never making time to spend time with my friends unless it was beneficial to my business, which is hurtful. And then my friends were approaching me about it, and I didn't like that. And how has it changed my life since? I'm now debt-free. Over the last 3 years, we have eliminated $179,000 worth of debt. Yeah.
Crazy.
So isn't that guy like all the jobs? Like, I haven't actually told anyone the complete number, so it's $178,987.15. And we are planning for our future now. So there is hope for my future. And I get to volunteer regularly. So a couple times a month, myself or my family together go and spend time in our community. I fish more. I hike a lot, almost every week. And my son has learned a level of appreciation for people and their time versus the things that they give him. And I shared at my last feature chick my bucket list, right? And we went through that. I knocked 8 to 10 things off that a year.
Yay.
And I'm living the life of my dreams now. And before I was just talking about it, but now it's really happening. And one of the biggest, funnest things is that it takes me less than 20 minutes to clean my house. Whereas before it would take an entire day or more and it would just never feel. I saw your post the other day about it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
so true though.
Thank you.
So I wanted to give you a couple of resources if you decide that you want to look into minimalism. The first thing that I recommend is getting some friends and family together to watch the documentary Minimalism on Netflix. It's not a super long documentary, but it's good. And it really explains a lot.
Is it minimal?
Minimalism? Oh yeah, it's like 45 minutes. I see what you're saying. I'm not very quick. Okay? And there's also a podcast. You can find it on Stitcher or iTunes, whatever other podcast formula. It's called Minimalism. There's also tons of Facebook groups. There's a great book, Minimalism, Live a Meaningful Life. And then there's the Minimalist Challenge, which I want to challenge all of you to. If you decide to accept, please let me know, and I will help hold you accountable. Essentially, the way that it works, anyone online watching, please let me know if you want to join as well. So it's 30 days, and on every day, the day that you're on, you have to get rid of that many things. So on day 1, you get rid of 1 thing. On day 2, you get rid of 2 things. Day 3, 3 things. Whoever can get to the end, or whoever can get to the farthest, I have a very special gift for it. It will be minimalists. And yeah, so does anybody have any questions? I tried to save a couple minutes for questions.
What did you do about sentimental stuff?
Like what?
Like my grandmother's jewelry box.
Is there jewelry or is it the box?
It's the jewelry.
So you keep it. If it brings you joy and value, then keep it.
Okay.
Pictures. One of the big things I did was got a digital picture frame, scanned everything. Now I don't have the entire box.
Yeah, that
So
would be nice.
yeah, if it's important to you, then keep it. You don't have to get rid of it.
That's what they say too.
Yeah.
I went and saw them live in Denver.
I know, aren't they amazing? I miss them in Portland. Yeah,
Yeah, we went to the, like when the documentary was in the theater too.
Yes.
And I'm technically actually a minimalist right now. So
Yeah?
yeah.
I live in
I
a
think
country.
I have 150 items that in my possession.
It's good. Any other questions?
Where do you think's the best place to start if you're trying to get rid of stuff? To become a minimalist, if you do the challenge, where do you think is the best place to start?
Close in the kitchen.
You know, that's hard to say. I think it really just depends on what's the most stressful area in your life. For me, I started with the medicine cabinet because I moved towards more holistic life. And I had medicine that expired 10 years prior. So I was like, well, that's obviously just a waste of space. And so I'm not carrying around. So it's really, that was stressing me out. I'm like, these are poisons. They're not medicine to me. And I got rid of them. And we literally don't get sick more than once every 2 or 3 years. So.
I'm gonna do the challenge.
You want to do that? Good. If you guys have questions online,
I think I have
post it.
stuff to get rid of.
Yeah, or you can even work that towards later.
Part of a paring down challenge. I don't know if I want to be minimalist. I think I do.
You can just start by taking the challenge and
Yeah.
seeing how you feel.
That's true. That's true.
And like I said, there are different forms. You don't have to get rid of everything. I still have a lot of stuff. I mean, I still have my entire cargo trailer.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
I've never
I don't plan on living full-time in an RV. This is a temporary thing as I transition. I can definitely say I don't want to do it full-time after experiencing it for
But I think it's just about awareness.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what actually happens on the challenge, I think there are pockets of areas where things get put that I haven't gotten into in a long time.
It really helps. After watching the documentary too, it was more of as you're out purchasing things, shopping for no reason, buying things to impress people you don't like, you don't really care about. I don't care that I drive an old beater car anymore. It doesn't matter. Those people who see me don't pay my bills, and I'm debt free. Like I see people chuckle sometimes at what I drive. I'm like, that's okay. I probably have more money in my bank than you. Not gonna lie, I think those things.
Well, those people usually have a nicer car with a nicer house too.
Yeah, and I'm not the one being judgmental either.
Someone has like a Beamer.
Yeah, true.
Well, because it's because their
Rent a
mortgage
studio
payment
with-
is going towards their car.
Yeah, with more than
Oh,
people.
my
I'm like,
gosh,
that makes 0 sense.
Any other questions before we wrap up? You guys can always talk to me. I'd
So
love
I'm
to.
in the process of getting more space for where I live.
Yeah.
Significantly. And I definitely hear some of the values of minimalism, but how I feel right now is I've been minimalistic for the last several years, living in apartments and that type of thing, where I really don't have enough space, and I'm trying to make
talk
things
about it.
work
That
for my
brings you
space.
joy. You're proud of your home, and I've seen that when we were talking at lunch last week. You're proud. You want to show that off, and that's okay. It's your form of minimalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
even
you want the fancy furniture and all the nice things, then
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
It makes
yeah,
you
but I
happy.
definitely don't want too many things.
No,
Yeah.
it's just more you have to clean.
No,
Because Christina and I are both. I lean a little more towards minimalist than most people, but I'm not anywhere near as minimalistic as Christina is. But I think it's such a good rule of thumb. If it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it.
Right.
If it brings you joy, then it's okay. If it
or
for me it's like clothing. If I put it on, I'm I feel disgusting in this. I'm not gonna put it back in my closet. It goes in the box.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your wardrobe is it's crazy. When I had to pare down to fit into just basically a suitcase and a half, my friend who is legit minimalist, she came over and helped me, and I had pared it down to 3 tubs, and she's like, only one of these is going in the van, so we've got some work to do,
Yeah.
and it was legit hard to be oh, I love that sweater, but it's not practical, and now that I'm down to 32 pieces of clothes, it is so freeing. My entire wardrobe can be washed in 1 load of laundry.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I only do 3 loads of laundry a
So
week.
what did your
That's
friend
it.
say to you to help you get from 3 totes to 1? Was there a message?
She was really
in
nice
this?
overall.
Uh-huh.
And then she was a boss about it. She was like, you've got 3 pairs of shorts and one's going in the box, so which one do you love most?
You were kind of no other choice.
Yeah, it
That
was, but
extreme.
it feels so good. I will tell you, it feels so good. I have 1 garment rack, everything hangs on it. It's not just having minimal choices. It's the work you spend on clothes, the cleaning, the folding, the putting
decision
away.
making.
Yeah, the
What am I gonna
decision
wear?
making, or things that don't look good on you. Everything I have looks good on me,
Yeah.
and I feel good in it, and
I've
you
always
feel
been
better.
worried that people are going to notice that I'm wearing the same clothes all the time.
They don't.
I don't think anybody noticed it.
No.
They
So I
don't.
almost wore the same shorts as I did last week, and I was like,
So I have an app called Cladwell. Have you heard of
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
yeah.
So my whole wardrobe's logged in there, and so that it mixes up your clothes for you.
Say
So
what?
Combination.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that before, so cool.
It's so great because then you're well, people don't know that I wore this basic outfit except for I added something different, and I look totally different now. So
I'm going to log off live. Does anyone want to come over and say hi?
Sorry,
I'm like,
hi.
I don't know if you should. These are the chicks connected back. They're awesome. If you want to come share a story, join our group.